Hey everybody. Hi Christian.
Hi, Christian. Good to see you and glad to have you.
Yeah,
Looks
pleasure.
like we've got looks like we've got some people filtering in. To those in the audience, I'm here with another Christian who is VP of Design Innovation at PepsiCo and Associate Professor at Art Center College of Design. He will be talking about using GenAI to design new products and services and revolutionize health and wellness. Sounds like a great topic for this summit. And with that, I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm going to be sharing my screen so you can see my slides, of course, and hopefully sound will also work together because I have a few videos to share as well. But really pleased to share the stage here. Let me just make sure that I'm hitting the right button with the sound on. Yes, the audio is going to be shared. So that's all good. And here we go. All right. So as I said, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Really a pleasure to share some of the work that we've been doing with some of our students at Art Center, College of Design, where I'm teaching on the online master in brand design and innovation. So I'm going to quickly skip through the slides to share with you, first of all, a bit of my background so you understand better where I'm coming from. So as I was introduced, I'm today at PepsiCo, but I've been working half of my life in pharmaceuticals at Roche and Novartis, and the second half in foods with Nestle for 12 years and now PepsiCo. And so with this career and this background, I'm basically on a mission to improve health and well-being worldwide. And really, my goal is really to contribute as much as I can through my daily work, but also through external activities to promote healthier living, both within and outside of my professional roles. And this includes projects that are enhancing the nutritional value of products, such as the ones that I'm working on at PepsiCo and also in the past life at Nestle, but also encouraging physical activity and supporting mental well-being. And so with my students, I'm dedicated definitely to inspire the next generation of designers to prioritize health and wellness in their work. And I believe that by instilling a sense of responsibility and purpose, we can empower future designers to create solutions that positively impact society. So what I want to cover with you today are a few topics. First of all, what can GenAI do in innovation? What are designers using GenAI for? What can we do when we think about redesigning health and wellness with AI? And this will be the example of what we've done with our students. I will talk about the evolution from design thinking to creative AI thinking. And I will talk about the skills that you truly need to leverage AI and conclude with some key takeaways. So first of all, to give a reference to our host at Board of Innovation, I love this visual that they have created that shows really how the front end of innovation funnel is now enhanced and impacted with artificial intelligence. And we are talking now about training models, and those models are actually allowing us to generate hypotheses and to significantly increase the number of opportunities that we can create when it comes to generate new concepts and new ideas. But as we can see on that visual as well, which is the piece that I love even more, is that the end of the funnel or the continuation of the innovation flow, of course, is heavily relying still on humans. And that thinking that we have promoted over the years on 3 to 4 lens, including sustainability, is definitely something where cross-functional teams still have to collaborate together in order to land ideas and concepts. When it comes to the way that designers are using AI, there is a love and hate relationship. So designers have spent hours and hours perfecting their craft and uniqueness, and thinking that a computer might compete with their work is challenging. But AI can help designers in the following ways. So finding inspiration, of course, you've seen that in the past few days, generating ideas, testing and simulation, and also design optimization by helping designers to test their ideas before they get on the market. So there are many tools available on the market with AI that can help designers integrate into their work. But these tools can automate tasks that are time-consuming for designers, but also accelerate product prototyping and provide insights to existing design. So I'm going to share with you more of the work that we've been doing with the students in the redesigning of the health and wellness space using generative AI. And again, this has been done in the context of the online master of design brand strategy at Art Center College of Design. And we've been supported by the faculty, of course, Gerardo Herrera particularly, and Sean Adams. and also partnered with Show Rust from show.ai that I'm going to give a reference to as well later in the deck. So when it comes to looking at the health and wellness system, this is a complex system, as we all know, that has many legs, many components, and actually the way that it can truly and most efficiently impact the health and wellness system is by focusing first on concepts that will change the human behavior. And what I did with my students when I partnered with them on the different activities was really to say, okay, let's focus on humans and let's see what is the way we can influence their behaviors into 5 different dimensions. And I directed the students to work on these 5 components that you see here. So mood management, sleep, nutrition, physical activity, and relationships. And in order to inspire students with some initial thinking, I had to paint a vision about what the world would look like in a few years from now. And I projected myself with the AI tools to create that character that delivered that message to them to kind of, as I said, inspire future thinking and future concepts. So let me play that video. Okay. Big tech companies have played a critical role in empowering individuals to be fitter, healthier, and stronger through data and technology. The integration of different biometrics have led to an improved quality of life in terms of sleep, nutrition, health, mental wellness, energy, and mood management. AI, Web3, and blockchain technology have revolutionized the way we interact with the web and created new opportunities for innovation and collaboration. Technology has enabled us to understand how our bodies, minds, and souls are impacting during life stage moments, allowing us to leverage those moments to make positive changes. The impact of nutrition and health on sustainability, educational outcomes, productivity, and social inclusion have led to an overall improved quality of life and better social relationships. So the goal of that video was just to generate some provoke future thinking and actually help the students think about the way we should collaborate together on that exercise. And so what I did then was to paint a process and design a process for them to dive into the health and wellness space, doing some research, looking at the stakeholders, identifying the challenges, and looking at initial ways in before doing a deep dive in the different components of the ecosystem. And again, to inspire them on how to use generative AI to create new concepts and new ideas, I just took the example of the famous nutrition patches that we see, that we've been seeing around for a couple of decades, maybe now, that are still not very successful on the market. And just took this as an example of how to make it more integrated into lifestyle, how to make it more relevant and personalized to consumers and to users. And I just generated those images from that prompt just to give them, again, some notions about, okay, now GenAI is here, and this is the kind of ideas that you can work on, that we can generate, and that we can further push in concept development. And I forgot to mention that all of that work has been done as early as January this year. So maybe those things that you see now might feel like, okay, we can do that very easily in an instant. But at that time in January, it was really in the premises and the initial phases of testing. And so what I did then was to, again, design a certain workflow for the students to gather knowledge and condensate their research on a mirror board. That mirror board and all of the information they research has been fed into a platform that has then been used to generate an augmented knowledge, which gave birth to a series of new concepts which delivered an augmented vision for what the health and wellness space might look like. And the platform that we've been working on is a platform that I mentioned earlier that has been supported by show.ai and Showrust, who might be on that call as I speak here. And I'm going to switch screen now to just share what that tool does, so you can see the kind of work that we can do with such a platform and how we are able to leverage an AI engine when we are filling it with proper information. So if you see my screen now, hopefully you are able to, let me just check that you are seeing the right screen. Okay. So we are now in the platform that we have created for the purpose of exploring the health and wellness system. And this platform has been fed with the knowledge that our students have gathered on different themes, the 5 themes that I mentioned before. And so this means that this platform is now rich of different elements that were generated on mirror boards or other types of different inputs. And in this platform, there is now a ton of knowledge that is associated to all of the requirements that are there for us to impact the health and wellness space in a positive way. So this platform has now all of our knowledge. It's also tapping into the extended broad knowledge. And we have here a kind of smart assistant that is there to support us into any of the dimensions that we might want to create new ideas and new concepts. So if, for example, I want to get ideas on nutrition concept, for example, give me 5 concept ideas for nutrition. I'm going to get instantly search that is going to tap first and foremost into the knowledge that we have gathered, but it's going to as well extend it into the broader knowledge that is out there in the world. And so, of course, those ideas and those concepts you see here, you might say, well, they are not that innovative. Everybody thought about personalized nutrition app with AI integration. Everybody thought about smart nutrients and hence snacks subscription. But of course, it's about pushing the model. And as we've seen in the past few days, doing multiple iterations that are allowing students and people and partners to actually sharpen the different concepts and ideas in order to bring them to life in a way that is meaningful and that will characterize human behavior changes. So as you understand, that tool is an all-integrated tool where we have access to platforms such as ChatGPT, but also the ability to visualize and generate images if we wish to do so. But not only that, the actually platform also has the opportunity to provide some direction in terms of style. So what is about the kind of brand direction that we want to give to the overall theme? What are the colors? What are the type? So it's an amazing tool, not just from an ideation perspective and concept generation perspective, but it's even a more amazing tool in terms of generating assets at speed in order to test and iterate on whatever you might want to create. So there is a set of templates that are available here where you can talk about the different styles that you want to express, social media posts that you can create. So instantly from an idea, I can generate immediate assets that I can use in different opportunities such as social media posts, decks, websites, or whatsoever, newsletters, in order to test and learn as well on the different ideas that I've been working on. So that is the platform that we have developed and that we have been playing with over a couple of months in order to generate new ideas and new concepts. And it was in the context of the second term in that master. So this had to have an end at the point of time. So we interrupted the work at the end of the term, but this is a platform that is still available and I'm going to be reusing again to further push the thinking with my students in the next term. So I'm going to move back to my deck right now so I can share with you the continuation of my presentation. And what I want to describe to you right now are the different ideas and concepts that have been generated by the students. And some of these ideas are actually very innovative and very creative in terms of the root and the essence of the idea and what it brings to the consumers. So we have here different ideas in the mood space dimension with a smart mood ring or an emotional support monster. And as you can understand, everything that has been generated here has been generated through the use of AI combined with the bright mind of our students. So these ideas are ideas that are there to provoke some thinking, to also provoke the industry on some new perspective that might be created in different dimensions of the health and wellness dimension. So we have covered here, as I said, physical, we have covered relationships, we have covered nutrition, and all of these ideas are there to demonstrate the value of using AI to generate new concepts, but also how far you can push the quality of the idea and the quality of the expression of those ideas from a design perspective. Now you're going to tell me, okay, fine, these are great ideas, but are still concepts on paper. And of course, I've done here that research in the context of a school program, but when you are doing this inside a company with all of the assets that you have from a science and technology point of view, those concepts can, of course, be pushed even further. But as we are not able to share any confidential information from the large-scale companies we are working for, we can definitely understand from this demonstration here that there is a lot of potential into the quality of the idea again, the expression of the ideas, and also the way that these ideas can be tested on the market at the speed of light. So again, coming back to what we've been discussing before with the Stingray visual that has been produced by Board of Innovation, it's all about the team, and it's all about pushing the work to a 3 to 4 lens analysis in order to further dive into those different concepts and ideas that are created with augmented intelligence through artificial intelligence, and pushing the boundaries of science and technology in order to land those concepts and ideas into the market with specific benefits for users. And actually, as I'm coming close to the end of my time, I just would like to put some thoughts out there in terms of the era of design thinking, which seems to come to an end, or at least to a second phase, made people believe that it's like, yes, we're all designers. And this has been to the detriment of quality of the ideas sometimes, and even to the detriment of design in some other occasions. Now we are entering the era of content supply chain, which means that GenAI is going to open the door to debrided creativity, and this might be again to the detriment of quality. So we need to be very mindful and very careful in that explosion of creativity as to how are we putting the right level of evaluation, the right level of discernment in order to be able to assess those different ideas and push what is really meaningful to the market. And so generative and artificial intelligence is basically here to make us believe that we are suddenly all creatives. But there is, again, as I said, this real need to consider the focus and the discernment into all of the work that we are doing to make it even more informed and even smarter than what we have been producing over the past few decades. So maybe design thinking is evolving, and now we are talking about a new theme that we might call creative AI thinking, with the ability to envision novel and transformative applications of AI technology. And the skills that you need to truly leverage AI are actually based on the few facts that you see here. So AI can create massive content, but of diverse quality. Creative thinking involves synthesizing influences from various sources. And also, there is a need to understand the foundations, the rhetoric, the critical thinking, and the analysis in order to develop discernment and something that is going to lead to real breakthroughs in the market. The takeaways is that to survive into the new era for innovation, we do need to apply this rhetoric, critical thinking, analysis mindset. We need to use those skills to direct the machines creatively and effectively. And first and foremost, the number one priority as we speak is definitely to build your knowledge engine now, because this is what will give birth to a myriad of opportunities. But only with the right knowledge, the right opportunities will be generated, and we will evolve together towards a better world and better place. And so, of course, building an engine and doing this work involved a lot of late night hours. And I would just like to cite one of my friends who just made a post this morning on LinkedIn, which I really loved. And it says that human species is the only one species that forces itself to stay awake even when tired. And that visual was produced by my friend Sébastien Gerbier, who's a good friend residing in Europe. So if you're like me, AI promises long late night sleeps, exploring and testing. So stay safe and make sure you get some sleeps. And with this, I think I'm over time, so I'm going to stop here. Thank you.
Hi, Christian. Thank you so much. Let's see, I'll come back on. We actually have about 10 minutes for questions.
Great. That's good.
Right, which is great. So glad you hit that 20-minute mark, but we have a little bit to talk about. So I can grab some questions from the Q&A section to the audience. Feel free to put them in there. I do want to say quickly that I remember when the Stingray model was on the whiteboard in the other room. So shout out to Natasha and Jeff Gibbons from the New York office, and I know we've got some people working on that. So that's awesome that you included it. As for questions in the chat, how do you determine the quality and viability of the many ideas that you have generated? How did AI help with quality and not only volume?
Yeah, so AI does not help at all with that until you are feeding your engine with the right knowledge. So this means that's why I'm talking about building the knowledge as a number one priority, because obviously the creative dimension is what everybody is jumping on today, and everybody is excited about seeing how fast or how faster you can generate ideas, because actually those ideas are of improved quality through the many iterations that the teams are working on. But the hard work remains. And that's why the Stingray model is very valid and very true, in the sense of the hard work remains with the cross-functional team knowledge being applied to the assessment and the evaluation of those ideas. So the 3 to 4 lens critical thinking is even more essential than before, because I mean, we could say, by the way, and I hope I will not shock anyone here, but I very often heard colleagues in the past saying that the innovation system is actually constipated, in the sense of a myriad of ideas getting into the funnel and not that many coming out. Actually, the risk and the danger with AI is that this flow of and this flood of innovation and creative concepts is going to be even harder to translate into effective innovation, landing on the real life of our users and consumers. So I would say that the job became even harder than before to filter and to provide that critical assessment of these ideas, because it's just many more than before. So of course the tools can help narrow down, but when it narrow down, I would say the user preference, but not necessarily the execution, materiality, and how do you bring those to life.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw in the platform that pitch function, right? And obviously those internal marketing is critical in a corporate setting to get unconstipated.
Absolutely. That's very clear.
Yeah.
I see a question here that I would love to answer. I see, do you need to create an own engine for each brand or business, or is it better to use the same engine? Actually, one of the things I didn't demonstrate in the tool, and maybe I can show that very quickly, just so you understand really the beauty of that tool, is that when we are creating a platform like this one, and we are getting back to it, we can talk to a platform that has a broad knowledge, and then I can decide to talk to any of the team that has provided that specific knowledge. So if you translate this into a brand world where you have one company having multiple brands, you can decide that System X is your company, and you can decide that the different themes that you see here are actually the different brands. And then I can decide that I'm talking to the engine with one specific angle from one brand only. So there's no real need to design a specific for each, because you can connect everything, and there is even more value for your portfolio architecture understanding and for basically your positioning to connect the dots between the different brands and the different entities. So that is the value of this.
Awesome. And I know we had some questions on the platform. Can you give us a little bit of an idea of, what went into it and how you use it on sort of a day-to-day? Anything high level or surprising?
Yeah, so clearly we've been using it with the students over, I think, a period of 3 months in order to walk them through the funnel of generating concepts, filtering these concepts, augmenting the thinking around those concepts, and actually at the end creating the assets that you've seen on the amazing boards that they've been creating. And actually that is a platform that you can constantly build and reinforce with additional set of knowledge, with additional creative directions, because as you understand, there is a knowledge that is really the kind of text dimension, and there is the more asset creative design dimension that is combined there. And I think that what we're going to be working on with Gerardo from Art Center and with Show is going to be really providing even more brand guidance in order to bring consistency across the various concepts that are being created. So again, coming back to that conversation related to should you create a platform per brand or a broader platform, it really depends on what is your goal. And my goal with that platform was really to direct students to bring consistency across the concepts, to kind of host that under one umbrella, to name Well Excel.
Got it. Yeah, so cool. I would love to dig in. We have about 5 minutes left, but a little bit on your as a professor. How do you think about how education is changing. We have some questions in the chat about media literacy in particular, but obviously it's evolving. Would love to hear your take.
Yeah, so our job just became harder, right? Because a lot of what I talked about is critical thinking. And actually, of course, with people being so busy and students being overwhelmed with so many information and opportunities that catch their brain attention, it might be that people take shortcuts to just generate answers or reports or work through AI, not necessarily taking enough attention to, does this make all sense? And actually, having played with it myself, sometimes you are very appealed and seduced by what you get out. And you're overexcited by the quality of it in terms of how well it is written or how beautiful the image is. But of course, you'd step back and think about, okay, does it make sense at all? And why should I be investing my time and energy into this? So again, I'm coming back to that notion of discernment and critical thinking, which is even harder for us as teachers now to students, because they want to take shortcuts, they want to go fast, and we are in the era of immediate reward. And it's, of course, easier to use these tools and go fast as opposed to take the time to think and reflect.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I know I've seen questions, for other speakers about how over-reliance on AI might be degrading us, but it sounds like you're already seeing a little bit of evidence of this. Can you?
I mean, I wouldn't say evidence of this. It's just that people taking shortcuts and thinking the job is done.
Right.
So the thing is that because you have access to so much information so fast, you might, and it comes back to that, constipated system versus plethora of offering, or even diarrhea of offering, in a way, in the sense of AI is not going to help stop that flood of ideas and that flood of communications. So that is the real issue. The issue is that there's going to be even more content. The quality will not be assessed and checked by many people. So we have to be the guardians to filter and to curate what people have access to. And we see that today with social media platforms, where it's a disaster, right? Because you feel sometimes trapped into a series of videos or information that you absolutely don't want to see. So the curation is the next wave that we all have to be mindful of and conscious of.
Right. And I think it even goes back to what you said at the start of the questions, which was that iterations are key for quality.
Yeah.
And
I see here a question from Nicholas that says, will AI lead to design mediocrity? I think it already does. I mean, it's already the case today. I mean, as I said, the thing is that design thinking made people believe that everybody is designers. Creative generative AI might mean that everybody is creative. And that's the issue, is that the long hours that have been spent for our generation to study a certain topic, deep dive into it, learning a type, learning a font, learning what is good industrial design, learning what is technology science, people might not have the patience to do that now anymore. But you need that to actually be able to discern what's real, what's fake, what's wrong, what's right, and provide something that is really meaningful for the future generations. And that's where we need to raise a flag to the younger generations as to, okay, guys, this is great, this is cool, but take the time to think and reflect and pause.
Yeah, absolutely. Those fundamentals become important. I think we have time for one quick one with about a minute left. So in a minute, how can you apply the tool you use, that thinking, to service industries rather than product industries? I'm interested if you have a take there.
Yeah, so this is all about, I mean, we are in the era of service anyway, right? I mean, it's not anymore the case that we are providing products to people without thinking about an associated service, or at least a way to connect with consumers or users through a certain type of service. So I would say that this tool is even better for this, in order to identify what are the connections, what are the ways to appeal and to connect with the different users. And that is even better to think business model, to think service, and to think about the ways that different elements of a system can be connected, and how you are basically generating a relationship between the different stakeholders to deliver some augmented services associated with products, of course.
Awesome. Well, our crowd thinks we need a Christian AI, and then I don't think they mean me. So thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very
And
much.
we'll see the audience in the next one.
I'm sure they mean you, Christian. Thank you.